Knockout Legends in the building. Like, comment, and subscribe. So today I want to talk about Tyson Fury, and I want to talk about how I think he has pulled the wool over all the boxing fans' eyes. Now, we all know Tyson Fury is good at mind games and manipulation. We also know he's good at saying one thing and then doing another, and also good at lying. But it seems he has outdone himself this time. So, in the run up to the Usyk fight, we saw a number of things that happened, which kind of gave us the impression that the fight was never going to take place. Now, the negotiations with Usyk that were ongoing back and forth, I think it was 60-40, then Usyk accepting 70-30, and then Usyk saying he'll take the 70-30 in Fury's favour, but Fury had to make a donation to Ukraine if he took it. And then I think it was, I'm not sure if it was a time limit thing, but I think because Usyk sided with the Saudis, and the Saudis wanted to set up their own, basically, tournament, that made Fury decide not to take and not to sign on with them. Because I think what it is Frank, even though he had a partnership with Top Rank, I think that's more or less finished. They'll just work with him now and again. But I think Frank still has an interest in Fury, and I think he wanted to retain as much control as possible because he follows Fury's script when it's pertinent. But with him signing on, I think with Skill Challenge, I think what the problem would have been that Skill Challenge would have had more say in how they did things, and I think they didn't want to relinquish that control. Now with the Riyadh season and with the Riyadh festival, and with them negotiating with a new entity and a new boxing promotion in that region, I think it's given them more scope to do more things. And I think with Fury using the Ngganou fight as a springboard and a platform, I think that's promoted that region more, because when you look at the bill for the actual undercard, there's a lot of actual fights on the undercard, to the point where it's like it's a heavyweight undercard, and some of the fights look pretty decent, to be fair. And one thing we'll give Frank Warren, he does have a good, he always has good undercards, and he always has good shows of late, and I don't know how he's done it, but like he with the help of Fury, I think it just basically helps promote Queensberry in a way where a lot of people want to fight on their bills, because obviously you got the David Adelaide versus Fabio Wardley fight, and that's for the British title. Then you got Joseph Parker versus Simon Keane. I don't know who Simon Keane is, but then we got Martin Bicoli, who's well known, versus Carlos Takam. So that should be a decent fight. Really, Martin Bicoli should be fighting people that are a lot better than that at this stage in his career. But then we got the beast that is Arslan Beck Makhmudov, sorry, versus Argon Shamikichi, and I don't know who that is, I'm gonna be honest. Then we got Moses Atuma. I think I've heard of him before. Versus to be to be confirmed. So it's a pretty stacked undercard, and you've got we've got 5 bouts there, and if I'm right, they're all heavyweight. So it's pretty good to actually start off the Riyadh festival and the Riyadh season. But not just that, with the Fury fight being signed with Usyk now, which I think is ironclad now with the contract, he's actually promoted his fight with the Ngganou fight. So and the things you've said as well, like if Ngannou knocks me out, then basically I've embarrassed myself, and I shouldn't really be boxing, and obviously I'm the heavyweight champ, and this, that, and the other. But it's actually smart promotion for the upcoming Usyk fight, because we're all gonna want to watch the Usyk fight when he beats Ngannou, because he's gonna beat Ngannou. I've got no doubt about that. Yeah, it may actually be an entertaining fight. I wouldn't be surprised if Fury gets rocked or if he goes down. I don't know if it's going to be part of the WWE script, because Fury's been in that. So we know Fury is a showman and he knows how to give a show. The same with Mayweather when he carried McGregor for as many rounds as he wanted to, and then he just beat him. He will make it look credible, I suppose. Now, I'm not giving Francis no chance at all. He has got some chance because he's got a puncher's chance, but against a pure boxer that's been boxing flipping most of his life, he's got no real chance in that respect. It's down to when Fury decides to end the fight, which he will, So it will be interesting to see anyway. The odds are what? Fury 1-12 and Ngannou 7-1 and a draw 16-1. So with the Fury Usyk fight coming up, it's smart promotion, because most people are just going to be expecting Fury to lose, and when he wins, it's more things to talk about, then it's more things to look forward to with the actual Usyk fight. So more people are going to tune in, and he's just going to milk it in. He's milking the cow as much as he can. So you got to understand with Fury, he knows how to promote the fight. He's a PR advertisement company's perfect client. He can sell the fight himself just with the way he is. And then with the things he's saying, like, oh, I'm not going to fight Usyk, I can't be bothered. Nobody knows him, why would I fight him? It's a waste of time. He's a middleweight, blah, blah, blah. The last Sky interview, what he had. That, by being negative and down-talking it, now that you're actually fighting him, you've just built it up to a crescendo now that all the people that would have doubted you and were slagging you off and cursing you will actually be licking the chops now to watch this fight. And like with a lot of fights being cancelled that we should have had, and little things that we should have looked forward to, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air, because after the Canelo fight, boxing fans were let down because that was just a total basic disappointment. Charlo let everyone down. He didn't even try. But again, what did we expect? Canelo has that thing where he likes to pluck opponents that look credible and fight them at his advantage and to their detriment and disadvantage, when we know that it's just a mismatch. Anyone that knows boxing, when it comes to weight classes, it's just a mismatch. So, unless you're coming up naturally into that weight class, why would you take your first fight at that weight class, jump up 2 weight classes to fight someone that's unified at that weight class, to dare to be great? It's like when Mikey Garcia did it against Errol. He gave a good account of himself, but Errol's just too big, man. He's too big, you know what I mean? And it's the same thing with Canelo. He's too big. He tried it with Bivol himself, and Bivol was too big. So it shows it doesn't really matter how good you think you are. If you're not established at that weight and you've not got the experience at that weight, you're punching above your weight. That's where the term comes from, punching above your weight. So, you haven't really got that much of a chance. And you know what I mean? Unless you're a phenom and you're just that gifted and that good. And then some of it's a bit of luck. Look at Roy Jones Jr. When he moved up to heavyweight, he still gave away a lot of weight against John Ruiz, and he got dropped in that fight. So he won, but like you can actually see the weight difference in the fight as to why it correlates to why there's weight classes in boxing, because there's just an unfair advantage where someone's just naturally a bigger, stronger guy. Even an average heavyweight can give somebody that's like 3 weight classes or 4 weight classes down trouble because of the size. Because if they can actually move at their own natural weight, even if they're slower, he's still going to give the person trouble because they have to rely on their natural attributes of speed and skill to get out of the way. But the pressure of the power and the pressure of the pressure and the size mentally can break a lot of people. So, and it's not just that. Once you get hit, you are going to respect the power of that person when they're bigger than you. So there is that as well. You know what I mean? That's the thing where when people say, oh, he needs to hit the other boxer to make him respect him, to make him feel the power. So in that aspect as well, there's that there. But back to the Fury and in Usyk fight, I think Fury plays chess, and the way he's played chess, he's checkmated everybody, because when he wins the Ngganou fight, which he will, then when he fights Usyk, it's going to be probably one of the biggest fights this year and in heavyweight history, because it's undisputed and we've not had it since Lennox Lewis, and it's going to be sort of reminiscent to Mike Tyson versus Lewis as well, but not on the scale where I say both fighters are as good as those two fighters, but because it's undisputed again and we've not had it for so long, we're going to be having that feeling and that furor of what it feels like to have it again. But this is the 4-belt era. Back then it was the 3-belt era, so I reckon as boxing fans we're in for a treat. As for predictions on the fight, I'd go with I would have probably at one point went with Usyk because he looked good, and we know Fury has trouble with smaller, faster opponents, and I reckon he's more established at heavyweight now. But just to the sheer size of Fury and his technical ability, and when he's in shape and his mental fortitude, his speed, he has the advantage and the edge because he can still bully Usyk, which is what Chisora did. So if it does get kind of hard work for Fury, he will probably do that, what he did with Steve Cunningham, and just bully him and just manhandle him. And at some point it will wear on Usyk, because now Fury can actually punch, because we've seen it in the Deontay Wilder fight, obviously the Dillian White fight and other fights that he's had. We know he's got the power. He can actually punch and sit down on his punches. He doesn't need to just rely on movement and speed. He can actually do both. So in that aspect now, with the Kronk style, he has that actual string to his bow. He is more or less an all-round fighter. It's just a case of, is Fury reached his peak and has he got old and has his body took too much abuse, or is he managing as many fights as he can do before he actually has to hang up the gloves and retire? Because with the threat of retirement every time and the threat of he's had enough and he's done this and he's done that, he's just using PR and marketing to draw everyone in to talk about him and to get the ball rolling for whatever fight he decides to have. And it's smart, because once the crowd doesn't sing your name anymore, you're irrelevant. So the idea is to keep his name in everyone's mouth and the eyes of everyone on him, and that will always keep him current. And with that being current, it's promotion and it's marketing for whatever fight he decides to have, because I can see in the future a lot more of these exhibition fights when he retires, and he's going to be making money and people are going to be paying to see that. Because of the Floyd Mayweather phenomenon, we're going to probably get the Tyson Fury phenomenon, whether it's wrestling, whether it's MMA fighters, whether it's street fighters or bare knuckle fighters, because that's another aspect what we've not even thought about. Like when Paulie Malignaggi went into the BKFB, you know, and did the bare knuckle thing and he won. You know, Fury always talks about bare knuckle, so that could be something else that he might actually go into, you know. So anyway, do you agree with what I've said? And leave your thoughts in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe. And that is another one from Knockout Legends. Peace.